If you think carbon credits and sustainable business are just for people with dreadlocks and tie-dyed pants, then you need to taste the success of Grove Mill. This Marlborough vineyard is the first in the world to be certified carbon neutral, and that's money in the bank for this innovative company. So Dave, what's been the biggest benefit of going carbon neutral?
It's raising our sustainability profile and some business opportunities that have come via that.
Well, tell us a bit about those business opportunities.
Well, one of our existing biggest customers, which is Sainsbury's, one of the biggest UK supermarket chains, came to us with an offer to make with their house brand. They obviously needed to know they were going to get the quality, they had to have the price they needed, but carbon neutrality, I think, was one of the keys.
And how big a deal is that?
It's a very significant proportion of our total Sauvignon Blanc production.
How does a place like Grove Mill go carbon neutral?
It's a process. We went through Landcare Research, who are a partly New Zealand government-owned body, and they came up with a carboNZero scheme which has three main components. You measure, you manage and you mitigate. So you need to know what your carbon footprint is. They help you do that. You need to manage it down. That's the main part of the program. What's remaining you have to mitigate, and that is to say you have to take that carbon out of the atmosphere.
How do you do that?
We do it by regenerating native forest down the Marlborough Sounds. 100 hectares, give or take, was last year's regeneration.
How did you reduce your footprint?
Simply by means of recovering electricity use in refrigeration, whereby we get hot water at the same time we're producing refrigerant, and then reusing that. This last vintage we used less electricity to do 3,600 tonnes than we used to do 3,000 tonnes.
So Dave, in the future, I understand you're going to have carbon-free electricity. How does that work?
It works because the supplier is carbon neutral as well.
So this is Meridan?
Yes, it is.
So why is it important for you to do business with another carbon-neutral company?
If we're expecting people to appreciate carbon neutrality with our product, then surely we must appreciate carbon neutrality with one of our suppliers.
So Dave, what else have you done to reduce your carbon footprint?
We reduced the size of our cartons and we redesigned our container loading formats, and by doing that we've averaged a 12% reduction in international freight.
So what is the future if more businesses don't become sustainable, in your view?
Well, it would be interesting to hear what unsustainable business was about, wouldn't it?
So what would you say to someone watching right now and they're thinking, well, I've got a small business, I'm not that interested in being carbon neutral, why should I bother?
They may have kids that they might like to live in a nice environment. That would be a good start, like I do. They might view it as a non-tariff trade barrier at some point if they're an exporter, which I think it will be. They may just view it as a compliance cost that they're going to have to incur one day, which they probably will, and might as well get on with it.
So you're saying that in the future we're going to have legislation?
I mean, the government's come out and said we're going to be a carbon neutral country at some point, so obviously there's change afoot.